So as I mentioned, we use the ladder oftentimes as part of a warm-up, but we'll also use it to mix in some prehab exercise. And in terms of this drill, we're using the regular ladder. I limit how many drills we do with this. Usually it's a maximum of 4 repetitions of down and back. And what I'm trying to emphasize is I'm picking drills where it forces you to control your hip abduction. Abduction meaning your hips are moving away from the body. So it's just a good, efficient way to be dynamic in your movement and also working on your hip abduction. So Alimo will lead off. And she's just doing a basic, go ahead. She's just doing a basic 1 foot in lateral like she did on the ladder earlier, except now she's got resistance of those bands between her ankles. Okay. The next progression would be, go ahead. Haley's doing a drop step. And the only role that the ladder is playing right now is it's forcing her to keep, and she's got the harder band on, so we'll give her a little credit on that one. She's just forcing the stance to stay wide enough to keep the resistance on the band. To make it a little bit more challenging, Jill is going to go ahead and demonstrate a backwards running hopscotch. Go ahead. Excellent. And you'll notice her feet aren't slamming back together. We avoid any of the jumping drills when they've got the bands on because it limits the opportunity to control the hip abduction. So Alimo's going to come back. She's going to face the same direction so she has the other lead foot. Again, it's important to stay with 1 foot in. Actually, Haley, so now you're doing forward running hopscotch. So hold on 1 second. So what we would normally do, they'd all be doing the same drill. Haley would have gone down backwards with her drop steps, and then as soon as 4 or 5 people got through, because we wouldn't have the whole team here at one time, as soon as 4 or 5 people got through, that would be the recovery, then they'd start coming back, and she'd go ahead and do running hopscotch. Go ahead. Good. And then Haley's going to come back. She's doing the same exact drill, but she just had a more complicated set because she did reverse hopscotch on the way there, and she's coming back with regular hopscotch on the way back. Again, this is one of the more difficult warm-up sequences that we do. It's working on body position in terms of hockey. Again, you have to stay low all the time. We're working on that dynamic strength. We're working on them doing a very controlled shuffle. Now, if you wanted to make this really hard, you could throw the ankle bands on to add resistance on the abduction part of it, but we're not ready for that yet. So they're going to start, and the difficult part of this is they're going to hold the plate above their head. This is a 25-pound plate. They're going to hold it above their head because we're working on core stability as well. And I'll just talk it through as she goes. They're going to stay in a squatted position throughout the exercise. Go ahead. She's kneeling down with one knee, standing back up, leading with that knee. Jill's going to follow up. And what you'll notice is, as Haley finishes, she can bring the plate down, but she stays in her squat. A little lower. And just hold that plate in front of you. Good. They're all going to wait in line, nice and squatted. And then just back up. Okay? And then Haley is going to work her way back through. So again, she's shuffling through. Plate goes back above her head. Okay. But lead with your left knee. So on the way back, they're putting their lead knee down first, working on, again, core stability, leg strength, and dynamic strength. Great job, you guys. And you can rest. Normally, we would go ahead and go through 3 or 4 repetitions, and then they would take the rest. So they would get to this side, they'd stay in that squatted position, rotate through again, and they'd do that 3 times down and back, and then we'd take a rest. Again, obviously, with your team, you could build this up. You do need something padded on the ground, but again, being somebody who does it, you don't need anything special. These are cut-up gymnastic foam mats, but you could do this on the turf if you have turf available, or on the grass if you did it out on the field. And you don't have to start with 25 pounds. It's just the most convenient weight we have that's a rubberized weight to hold over their head.